now to take us through the latest order that they've won in terms of the Srinagar-Leh highway. That's a big 10,000 crore order. Mr. Maiskar, the Chairman and Managing Director of IRB Infra, joins us now first on CNBC TV 18. Mr. Maiskar, good morning. Congratulations on this big order, but can you just start by telling us, the tenure of this order, when it will start to actually flow into your revenue scheme?
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for the taking us on this particular order. This is a first road order which is of this size, and the tenure is 22 years, which includes 7 years of construction period and 15 years over which we will receive the annuity twice a year. So we expect the agreement to be signed in next 1 or 2 months, and post that we'll have 180 days period for achieving the financial closure. And post that around October 2016 we expect the project to start, and total concession period will be 22 years.
Okay.
Which includes construction period of 7 years.
Okay, morning Mr. Maiskar, happy 2016 too. Morning. It has certainly started off on a good note for you. Yes. It's just that the terrain is difficult, and even for political reasons. So is 7 years a reasonable period? Can things get delayed?
It's a 14 kilometers tunnel, so a usual 14 kilometers tunnel should not take so long. Okay. It is only, as you rightly said, because of the terrain that the construction period has been kept at 7 years. And the reason is that we can only work for around 6 months a year in that particular terrain. And that's the reason, if you look at around 7 years construction period, we get around 3.5 years to actually construct the tunnel, which is a fair good amount of timeline. And considering the past project management bandwidth of the company, we are quite confident that we'll be able to complete it in the given timelines.
The semi-annual annuity of 981 crores sounds mouth-watering. Does that mean you get what, 1900 crores a year?
That's right. That's for 15 years. That's correct. It gives you an equity. We have assumed around 75-25 debt equity ratio, and the project cost which we have said of 10,000 crore is the total project cost, which includes the IDC for 7 years, and the EPC will be around 6,500 crores. And the annuity will give us on a 75-25 debt equity ratio of around 16% IRR.
Okay. What is the assumed traffic growth?
There's no traffic growth because government
is going to
pay an annuity to us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you said that the construction of this project will start in October 2016, correct?
That's right. That's right.
And realistically, when do you expect some revenues to start flowing in from this project?
The revenues on the construction side will start from October 2016, which will be realized as a construction revenue. And the annuity payment from the government will start only after 7 years once we complete the project. But the construction revenue of 6,500 crores will be spread over the 7 years period, slowly ballooning up.
What's the margin on the construction?
Construction margins would be more or less the same what we have on our usual construction order book, which would be around 10% PAT.
Okay. Can you just tell us what the total order book, I understand, of the company stands at about 16,430 crores. Can you tell us what the orders are looking like for the next, say, 6 to 12 months? What kind of visibility do you have on earnings?
In terms of, we don't give any guidance as such, but we can certainly say that this financial year should be better than the last, and the year coming should be better than this. That's max I can say. But in terms of new orders, we are seeing good traction on the NHAI side as well.
Sorry, when did you say the tunnel will be up and running and the annuity will start flowing?
See, I'll again quickly take you through the structure. It's a 22 years concession period. First 7 years will be construction period, during which the tunnel will be constructed, and the annuity will start after the construction is over. So we get annuity for a period of 15 years.
So FY23 or something?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Can you give us a sense of what the traffic growth at your major projects is looking like? Your Surat, Dahisar, the Ahmedabad, Vadodara project, etc. Because in the quarter gone by, your toll revenue went up by about 9%. Do you expect a better performance in Q3 and Q4?
The traffic volume has been fairly steady even in this quarter. So we expect a similar kind of growth to continue for some more time. No doubt the base has improved a lot now, so it's definitely going to be challenging to retain that kind of growth quarter on quarter. but still the growth has been strong. So we have reasons to believe that it will continue for some more quarters. And on the most of the projects, that has been the scenario.
Okay, what's the likely increase in order book for, you said that NHAI has been fairly efficient in putting in more orders. Are you L1 in some orders? How much may we expect your order book to grow?
We are not L1 as such, but with this new order, the order book has swelled to 16,000 crores, which gives us a very good visibility on the construction side for next few years. And on the new order pipeline from NHAI, there is a good amount of BOT bidding happening at this point in time. And we are looking at a few of those bids. But there is no L1 kind of a situation because you get to know the result the same day.
Okay. You were telling us about your toll revenues and the kind of growth that you're expecting to see. But can you tell us a little bit about the construction revenues as well, and what's the expectation for the second half? Because the first half was very strong. You know, you saw 21% growth in your construction revenues. Is there a possibility of repeating the performance in the second half?
Yeah, construction revenues for the third and fourth quarter should be slightly better than the first 2 quarters, because the second quarter we usually see monsoon effect. But third and fourth quarters, particularly the fourth quarter, should be much stronger even than the third quarter.
Okay.
Because now we are having construction going on almost 4 or 5 sites. So the construction turnover should be quite strong in the fourth quarter.
And how may your interest outgo pan out? Are you expecting that to rise or actually fall because of the cost of money?
See, interest cost as if we have to look at individual projects, you will see the interest cost going down because of refinancing and renegotiating the rates because of the overall rates coming down. But on absolute terms, if you look at a console basis, the interest cost will keep going up because more and more projects will get added. The disbursements will come through, so the interest cost will keep going up. But on an overall basis, if you see, that is because of the increase in the asset size.
Okay. You know, since we have you with us, I wanted to ask you a little bit about some of your focus verticals. You do mention that you're looking at proposed real estate development as well along the Mumbai-Pune Expressway because you own some land there, and you're also looking at the Greenfield Airport project in Sindhudurg. Can you just elaborate a little bit? What kind of potential do you see in these two?
See, the real estate tract of land that we haven't started any development there, and we will be only more of a developer there, where we'll rope in some joint developer as and when we decide to develop that. And as regards the airport is concerned, in the overall asset book, it's a 300 crores project, which is a fairly small project and a one-off that we have as a diversification. But more or less the focus continues to be only doing toll roads or annuities. And this particular annuity project we also looked at as a part of diversification within the road space, because in 23-24 when this project becomes fully operational, we believe that the revenues coming from this one single project will be around 30% of the overall revenues that we would have in that particular year from the tolling side or tolling plus annuity together. So that's the basic diversification we are having. We are not doing diversification into any other verticals. But we have diversified in terms of going into different geographies. Now we have a presence in 9 states, and then further diversification by having some part of the revenue now coming in by way of annuity.
Give us a revenue guidance for the current year and the next, where I think the visibility will be very, very clear. FY15 was one of the few years when you actually saw a dip in revenues. So how much better will FY16 and 17 look?
We can pencil in around 10% growth on both the sides for both the years on a conservative basis.
Okay, it did sound conservative going by your third quarter performance. Mr. Maiskar, pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much for joining us with all those details. So that's IRB Infra. The new year has certainly rung in on a positive note for that company with a massive order. But those big revenues of 1,900 crores a year come in only in 2023. What comes immediately is the construction revenue, which is a solid 6,500 crores. And there they make about 10% on a net level in terms of margins, the company says, which itself is fairly decent cream, you will have to say. We leave the markets at the end of Bazaar on a fairly tenuous note, actually. 7,900 has been lost rather emphatically for a better part of half an hour now. And the advanced declines are closing in almost 1:1. Not very good for the Bulls, you will have to say. So